over 50 million views. You're listening to The Joe Cronin Show.
The Joe Cronin Show.
The Joe Cronin Show.
I hope you hang your mother. This country sucks! This place sucks! CNN masturbated all fucking day. Dude, I will eat your fucking asshole out and then spit it into your mouth, baby bird style. Who wants to go? Call the show. I'll
Secret destroyers hold you up to the flames. And what do I get for my pain? Betrayed desires and a piece of the game. Yeah, even though I know, I suppose I'll show all my cool and cold like cold Joe. Despite all my rage, I'm still just a rat in a cage. Despite all my rage, I'm still just a rat in a cage. And someone will say what is lost can never be saved. Despite all my rage, I'm still just a rat in a cage. Yeah. Now I am naked. Nothing but an animal. But can you fake it for just one more show? And what do you want? I wanna change. And what have you got when you feel the same? Yeah, even though I know, I suppose I'll show all my cool and cold like cold Joe. Despite all my rage, I'm still just a rat in a cage. Despite all my rage, I'm still just a rat in a cage. And someone will say what is lost can never be saved. Despite all my rage, I'm still just a rat in a cage. Yeah. Tell me I'm the only one. Tell me there's no other one. Jesus was an only son. Tell me I'm the chosen one. Jesus was an only son for you. Despite all my rage, I am still just a rat in a cage.
Yeah.
Despite all my rage,
My
I am
name's
still
Ryback.
just a rat in a cage.
Ryback, roar.
Someone will say what is lost can never be saved. Despite all my rage,
Ryback,
I'm still
roar.
just a rat in a
Roar.
cage.
This is Ryback.
Rage, I'm still just
And
a
I think
rat in a
I'm gonna roar. I think I'm gonna have to roar, guys.
I don't know. I can't really do Ryback right now. My voice is really jacked up. I don't even know why my voice is jacked up. It was a fun day. I'm not really going to spend, I don't think I'm going to spend a lot of time on cleaning up because I did so much of it that I don't think I want to talk much about it. I don't think so, but like I have this, but maybe I will. I don't know. Anyway, oh my God, somebody donated yesterday. out of nowhere. Money for flood damage or drugs. Like, what the fuck, dude? Somebody donated this the other day, and I didn't even know it. That's funny. Yeah, we had, of course, you have a good night, I'll monetize this. Great time. And then literally, like, unbelievable. Now, listen, if I had been home, this would not have happened. You know what I mean? If I had been home, this would not have happened because I just needed to pump the water out of the ash dump in the wall, in the ground. Like, I'm underground right now, right? I'm underground. And so the chimney thing is right behind me. It goes through on the other side of the concrete wall down here, and then there's the ash dump down there, filled with yellow pus water that spilled throughout this whole place. Then came running down on the other side. But anyway, the bottom line is, if I'd been home, I could have pumped it probably pretty quickly, and it never would have leaked in. But because I wasn't home, we had a problem. Anyway, I'm done with that. I moved the whole carpet is gone, which is now the third carpet, by the way. That's 3 carpets. 3 carpets destroyed. So, right now, I'm thinking I'm not going to do carpet ever again. At this point, maybe. Right now, I've sort of said, you know what? No carpet. And then also no electronic devices on the floor. So the next time this happens, there'll be no electronics on the floor. Because all my power strips were laying on top of the carpet. And the carpet was soaking wet. Right? So that was pretty dangerous, I guess. But we got it shut off, and I shut it off. And it was a pain in the ass because it was up all night long. But anyway, it got done. My lights still aren't up yet, so I don't have lights up the right way. And, some things are a bit disheveled. But for the most part, not bad, bro. Not bad. I had a lot of people sending me messages. But quite honestly, man, it's not that bad. It could have been way worse and has been way worse for so many other people. This is nothing. Don't worry about it. And I'm rambling because I don't really know what I want to say, or usually I do, but I don't at this point. So anyway, let's just talk about other things. But just to get that out of the way real quick. That's it. Other people are dealing with it way worse. And what I dealt with is nothing compared to what other people are dealing with. As far as flooding is going and other crazy stuff that's going on, it's not even that bad. And as far as I'm concerned, it's really not that bad compared to other people. But you think Bobbitt will take the belt off Rojas from the grave? If Bobbitt was going to take anything, it'd be probably be a burger from somebody. I heard there's a surprise ending where all the Von Erichs live. Oh my God! Has anybody seen this movie? Is the movie out yet? The Von Erichs movie? What's it called again? I don't even remember. I would just call it the Von Erichs. Let's call it the Von Erichs, right? Let's play a dono.
You raised a piece of shit!
Bro, I'm so sorry to hear about the flood damage to your house. That is so terrible. Here's a few bucks. Wishing best of luck to you and your family.
Oh. We're going to be fine. Money for flood or drugs. Thank you for the $6, man. Thank you for the $6. Very nice of you, sir. We're going to be fine. It's not that crazy. I lost a few things. Some stuff got damaged a little bit. More than anything, I lost time. Iron Claw. There you go. That makes sense, right? The Iron Claw. So it's not that bad. It's really not. I think the other night, I was really just trying to say to people, hey, I said I was going to be on the air. I'm not on the air. This is why. my room is kind of messed up. You know what I mean? I was really just trying to alert you guys that I wouldn't be on. That was really it. It really wasn't, like I said, it's not that bad. I finally got a picture of my chair. I put that up on YouTube earlier. You guys probably saw it. I just haven't taken the chair out in forever. The chair sits in this dark corner, and I never look at it. I never really think about it. And I had it covered in, like, some sweatshirts and stuff, for padding. So I never look at it. So when I pulled the chair out, I went, Jesus Christ, bro, look at this chair. And so I was like, I got to take a picture of this and show everybody what I sit in. So when someone says, like, oh, like, I need a new chair, or they need a new chair, or the chair is jacked up or whatever, bro, nobody keeps a chair like me and Jake DeMarco. Nobody keeps a shit chair like me and Jake DeMarco. Jake DeMarco's chair that he used to sit in for this show, just trashed. You know? My chair trashed. His chair trashed. Everybody. Very weird. Nope. Oh, real quick. Let me just fix this microphone real quick here. All right. Yeah, so so I really did want to come on and say I'm here. Tony Khan hit the reset button. I don't know, man. I don't know what to tell you with Tony Khan. I think at least he's got Tony Storm going well. Now, I had a conversation with a couple of people today about, MJF's contract. That's been a big thing. MJF's contract. And it's I don't know. I don't think anybody really knows, but basically my thing was this. They said, Nick Houseman apparently said a while back that MJF signed a new deal with AEW. Somebody else that I know told me that he signed something, but he didn't think it was a contract. Then we heard loosely from MJF and from Tony Khan, and in the news way earlier than all of that, I think it's earlier, we heard that MJF, was not happy with his contract, with his current contract, and that he might have re-signed. So what it looks like to me, and I don't know this 100%, but based on the pieces of information I got from some people, and then the information that we know in the news and everything else, it's complete speculation on my part, but I do think that you could sort of kind of prove it, right? And this is similar to when the WWE met with CM Punk, and then the news was leaked out that, they had a meeting, but they didn't have any interest in Punk, and that's what happened. So we'll see what happens, but we know that meeting took place, and basically at that meeting, they agreed to do something. It's just a matter of when. So this is similar to that, in my opinion. I don't think MJF was signed. I think that they said that they extended MJF because there was also a big, there was a news story at the time that they restructured his contract and then he got more money. So that's what it sounds like to me. It sounds like MJF was getting paid whatever he was getting paid, whether that's $90,000, whether that's $150,000, whatever it was that MJF was getting paid. It was an early contract when AEW was in his infancy and MJF wasn't proven yet, nothing like that. And so now he's like literally the guy of the company. He's still here. You know, he's one of the staples, homegrown talent that is the AEW World Champion. He's done all this stuff. He was unhappy, and this was around the time he got sent home for a little while or whatever happened. They had a problem. When he came back, they worked out a contract, allegedly, in my opinion, to make it better. So his contract was restructured. So they added 3 months to his contract, right? 3 months was added to his contract. So instead of being up in January, it's up in like March or something like that. So now he's got till March instead, and they made his contract for more money, allegedly, right? So they gave him $300,000 or something like that instead of the $90 or whatever he was getting paid. And I don't know what he was getting paid, but they gave him more money. They said, yes, you are worth more than this. You're not like a legend and all that sort of thing, but you're worth more than this. We agree. We're going to do something. Here's what we're going to do. And we're all still waiting for the bidding war of 2024. But here's the thing about the bidding war of 2024. And by the way, thank you, Money, for the flood. Yes, I had a little bit of damage, and I had some problems, and I was up all night last night and yesterday and a long time today, but we've got things kind of going, but the lights are still fucked up and things and electrical is still messed up. But we're working to do our best down here in my office. But what's going to happen here is this is super interesting. Very interesting, right? Because like where's Windows Paint? Everybody knows that I'm a disgrace with Windows Paint. And I love to be a disgrace. But let's say let's pull out the Windows Paint, everybody. Let's pull out Windows Paint. You guys know I love this. Let's say that this was WWE's interest in MJF. Right? Let's say this was WWE's interest in MJF in 2000 what's the year? 23? Let's in 2022. In 2022, WWE's interest in MJF. Let's go back to 21 actually. Screw this. Let's make a line graph. Let's go 20. In 2020, WWE's interest. Well, let's do it the right way actually. Let's do it the right way. In 20, WWE's interest in MJF was like right here. Then in 21, WWE's interest in MJF was like here. Right? Whoop. So we're going up. And then around 22, WWE had, Cody Rhodes, people like that were coming. So, but they still had a very high interest in MJF. Like, okay, we really want MJF. Still really want MJF. It's going up and up and up. But now at the end, and I would say that in the beginning of 23, it was pretty high too. But now at the end of 23, WWE's interest in MJF is kind of, in my opinion, it should be down here. It should be much lower. Because why does WWE need MJF anymore, really? And my point is they still have interest in him. But, like, at this point here, they might have been willing to pay MJF like $2 to $5 million. Maybe. Right? But now in 23, what are they willing now to pay MJF? You know what I mean? $500K to $2 mil? Maybe? Maybe? For some guy that they don't know could do it on that stage? I mean, I still think we're a little high on all this, but the bottom line is it's gone down. Like in 21, let's say in 21, it was like 1 to 3 mil. 1 to 3 million around this time. So if you're MJF, you missed probably the biggest contract you could have gotten here from WWE. Probably could have been the biggest contract right there. Now, if WWE wants to go in for the kill, they're like, we already got Randy Orton back, Cody Rhodes. Their company is like destroyed. We got CM Punk to come over here. And by the way, their interest coincides with CM Punk, right? But now WWE has CM Punk, Cody Rhodes. They've got Roman. They've got Randy Orton. They've got a bunch of shit. They don't really need MJF. So if you look at the same years down below of interest, man, have things changed. In 21, AEW's interest in MJF was low as well, right? It was like low, or down here. AEW's interest was low. And then in 21, AEW's interest in MJF, re-signing MJF went up, just like WWE's did. And then in 22, AEW's interest went up in signing MJF as well. Well, now that Cody Rhodes and CM Punk and everybody has left AEW and the whole thing's in shambles, in the late end of 2023, AEW's interest in signing MJF should be at an all-time mega high. So the fact that the news came out maybe that happened from Nick Hausman, you could see it. And you can see the differences in the line graphs. Flat line to flat line. Let me get a thinner line. But you got that line there. And we can, of course, see the difference. So if WWE was offering $2.5 million, but now probably is offering more around $500,000 to $2 million, what is AEW now prepared to offer MJF? I would say AEW is willing to offer MJF $2 to $5 million. So maybe $6 million, $2 to $6 million for MJF. So the question here is, what will WWE say? Our interest is low. Keep him. We'll just drive up his price a little bit. WWE offers $500,000 to $2 million for MJF. So AEW is forced to offer $2 to $6 million for MJF. Now, what if WWE, though, decides, you know what? We're going to just take him because we want to. Can they do that with the amount of money they have and the way they're trying to save money? That would mean WWE would have to offer MJF $5 to $7 million, I think. Somewhere between $5 to $7 million. If they really wanted to, just destroy AEW for some real weird reason and get MJF out of there. That means that it's likely, in my opinion, maybe these numbers are off. Maybe I don't really know what I'm talking about. I don't know. But AEW looks to have to offer MJF between $2 to $6 million. But WWE is only going to offer him $500,000 to $2 million. But if WWE wanted it, I think they could take MJF for $5 to $7 million. So that is what the bidding war of 24 could look like if there was one. If he hasn't already decided to sign with AEW, why would he? But here's why he would. Here's why MJF would sign with AEW. If this has happened, that WWE no longer values him the same way they did, which makes sense that they wouldn't, and right there, you see their interest at an all-time low, he's going to get a much lower offer. But AEW needs him badly, so their offer is going to be above what it should be. So that puts AEW in the position to buy him. Unless WWE is irrational and is like, yo, let's pay $8 million for some guy who's not a megastar, but let's pay him like a megastar. I don't know. That's weird. But he could do it. If you guys want to donate to the show tonight, the link to the donation is pinned to the top of the chat, or you can super chat down below, of course. All the money will go to groceries, not crack cocaine, but groceries, and to the room fund, sort of. The room fund. And to Christmas. So thank you for those donations. If they do come in, say something via donation link up top. And remember, monetize this the other night. We had a crazy night, man. Shout out to Sith Negan for dropping a bomb. An absolute bomb. Let's see. Let's check in with the master himself, the man who gargled shampoo the other night, and then was a psychopath on Monetize This for 36.
I was. Hey, can you hear me well?
You sound a little weird, but it sounds all right enough.
I'm like downstairs right now, so sorry. Yeah, just I just wanted to say something. Sorry to Dork Knight. I might have went off a little too hard on Dork Knight. When I said that his daughters were ugly and that his son sucks cock, that was a little too far. And I'd like to apologize for that.
That's right. If people really missed a treat if you did not watch Monetize This Saturday night, you missed Rojas telling Dork Knight's kids to die. It was amazing.
Yeah, I'm sorry to Dork Knight. I shouldn't have said all that stuff. I shouldn't have said the stuff to Leah too. I listened back. I was like, I go on this rant about how like you told me that Leah's pussy lips, that one lip was Hiroshima and the other one reminded you of Nagasaki.
Well, I
had no clue what the fuck I was talking about.
I played it for her in the kitchen. It was great.
I basically went to where Garguts is usually at. You know what I mean? Like that really started to sound like Garguts at one point. And I even said, like, Garguts, I think I finally understand you. Like I'm at your mental state, because I'm never like that.
What, retard? You're the mental state of retard. Well,
yeah, basically, yeah. I went to the mental state of Garguts, and that's not something I want to do again. So I don't think I'm going to be getting drunk on the show anytime soon until, like we discussed, maybe we do a Royal Rumble drinking game, huh?
Yeah, I think it'd be funny to, and I'd think it'd be really funny to complicate it and like make it really crazy, like make crazy predictions that are so weird, like the Miz will be eliminated. He'll be the
Chris Benoit returns.
Well, that's stupid, Rojas. But I mean, Mustafa. But
yeah, you do that every time just because our names are Ro.
Yeah,
Mustafa,
really,
Rojas,
Mustafa. You're gonna have to change. Annoying, you're gonna have to change your name, Mustafa, to your real name. Okay, bro. Let's do that.
So this is his real name, probably.
Well, fine. Change your real name, Dan. No, I'm playing.
Is your real name Mustafa?
I go by Rostafa since the eons of my birth.
I can't do that because I don't need to do that because there's nobody else with Joe on here. You know what I mean? You have to be like.
But the drink show,
you know what? I just realized. Joe, you know what? I just realized I asked a pointless question because I knew he's not going to answer it. Like anything I ask this guy, he's just not going to give me an answer. Hey, How was your day, Rostafa? Oh, well, I don't really like to
My day was pretty good. My day was pretty good, actually.
Jesus. All right. Well,
I mean,
I'll be right back. I just have to get a mic set on and stuff. So, Mustafa, tell us what you thought about Monday Night Raw, because I thought it was pretty good, or something like that. I don't know. Talk about wrestling before Joe kills himself.
Yeah, well, I mean, he's close to doing that. He almost lost his basement. By the way, how's your basement doing, by the way? Anything lost?
Not really. It's all dry now. I mean, it's just a pain in the ass to get everything out of here. I was trying to tell, I guess Leah couldn't figure it out, but I was at work and I was calling and I was like, drain the fucking, the dump thing so it doesn't flood. But dude, this storm.
Are you like on a hill, or are you on a hill, or are you on the bottom of a
No,
mountain?
bro, it was
Like,
the
how does it
storm.
work?
The storm was nuts. Like,
Oh, okay.
The water and the wind, dude. Listen, we had that tropical storm years ago. We had those almost hurricanes, whatever. This was worse. This was.
I'm about to say, why don't you have Flex Seal?
Dude, this was one of the worst storms I've ever seen, and there was like no word about it. There was like no.
Where was the most of the leaking coming from? Like the top of the ceiling, the bottom. Where was it coming from?
No, it was coming in. It went in through the chimney. But
okay.
I thought
weird.
I
got you.
I thought it'd been fixed.
You know what? Actually, the leaking was coming from your ass.
Probably. But yeah, it's just it just sucks.
Sorry, even tried.
There was wires everywhere that were on and stuff too. Like I had no idea that this was coming. And
thank God you had everything elevated on the table. Thank God.
No, I didn't. It was on the floor and on the carpet.
No. But I mean, like your main computer and like some of your stuff that you had.
Yeah. Yes,
oh,
that's right.
My God.
But I mean, there could have been like, I don't know, bro. The water that was pouring out of the electrical box was crazy. Like you're looking at your breaker, your electrical box, and there's water just pouring out of it. You're like, oh, okay. Like that's and then I was like, well, to get in the room, I might be able to tiptoe around and then turn the breaker off, but I'm not touching the breaker because it's covered in water. So I'm like, all right.
God.
And dude, I'm telling, there was fucking just like, I don't know, bro. Like I've never seen a storm like this out here or anywhere, and so. But there was no warning about it, really. I heard there was like there's something coming, some rain coming or something. And this wind was nuts, bro. I was driving on the highway and I got blown off the highway. And I was like, that was fucking crazy. And the closest thing I can relate to driving in this the other day was driving a boat. It was like driving a boat because I'd be like driving the car.
My God.
I mean, I'm in a big, heavy SUV. Or not heavy enough, and like I'm getting blown, and as I'm blown, I'm driving into the wind to like go against it, and I'm like, this is like fucking driving a boat in the ocean during a storm. It was so weird. Like I had flashbacks.
And usually when you're driving, and usually when you're getting blown while you're driving, it's a good experience. But in this case, it wasn't. And
Exactly.
and not even that, but the day before that, you had to deal with all that traffic because of Taylor Swift being in the area to watch the Patriots get the shit kicked out of them.
That's right.
That
That whore
must have
had to
fucking
come.
sucked.
That whore had to come here to Gillette Stadium.
It was so annoying, by the way. If anybody watched that game, it was so annoying that like almost after every fucking play, they had to cut to Taylor Swift's reaction.
Yeah,
It's like, I get it.
She was always saying the F word. She was saying the F word like every like 2 plays.
We're not talking about fuck. They didn't want. She was saying the F word and the N word, and she.
Oh man!
Imagine that.
Imagine
that.
Roll out of my boy's face.
Like you didn't know there was. She didn't know that there was cameras pointing to her, so she's
my
cursing up a
God.
storm, being like, "Fucking."
Yo, Taylor Swift is ridiculous. I get now all the focus goes on her, not on the game. Isn't that interesting?
Well, I was
Isn't that
hoping.
ironic?
Well, the game.
Especially when the game is the Patriots right now, but I was hoping that Kanye West would have attacked your suite. That would have been amazing.
I'm sorry,
It was
Taylor, but that was one of the greatest 10 sixes of all time. That was one of the big 6 of all time. It was great. Get out of my way. Give me my popcorn.
We were initially doing good for the first 2 halves of the game, and then
It was a good game.
No, and then we threw a fucking interception in the game. Like I already.
I mean, I
Then
saw
we
that.
lost.
But I thought it was a great game regardless.
You know what?
Regardless.
Honestly, the Patriots.
Regardless.
The Patriots could have been in the game if the refs didn't blow that other call. Like, they fucked the Patriots.
I did see that.
You know what? The amount of
Unfortunately, I
times
was
that
gonna
ref
leave it
calls.
Bro, there was
Sorry.
there was no pass interference, and they called it. It was like ridiculous. It was like they were trying to make up for that fucking offsides call on the Chiefs from the week before, but they called it on the Patriots. It was bizarre.
No, they were making it up for roughing the passer call.
Now she might have
Remember
said she might have said flag. She might not have said the
I think
F
they were.
word.
I think they were making up for it because we remember, I think we had a similar type of way where it's like a certain ref call helped us win the AFC championship against them.
That's right.
Yeah.
Some people thought it was bullshit. Some people didn't think it was bullshit.
Man, she's got beautiful teeth. Let me tell you.
Since when did they let refs be women? Or let women be refs, rather?
Oh, there's a bunch of NFL refs.
That was a
that are
while
women
ago.
now. Yeah.
That was a while ago.
There's
When
been
they
a
were
lot
on.
of them.
I thought they were. I thought women were excommunicated from the sport. You're never gonna see a head coach be a woman. That's for sure. Unless they want to,
Well,
for diversity.
really? I mean, we can, there's like 50-year-olds showering with 13-year-old girls at swimming contests now, so.
One of them getting groomed. Hey, anyway, one of the unfortunate things about that storm last night, not just because of you losing over $1,000 worth of stuff, but also you got to miss a pretty good Raw. Like all things considering, I think last night for a Christmas Raw, and I know the ratings you said are trash, but it was a pretty fucking good Raw. Like a lot of great matches. Gunther versus Miz, I don't think it's on my top 10 list, but I can see why people would put it on theirs. It was a fucking fantastic match.
The main event
really,
is a little bit. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say that because the main event was good too, but there's something at the end that I thought I was the only one to notice. Yeah, I thought I was the only one to notice this, but a lot of people did. So it's the Creed brothers versus the Judgment Day, and at the end they do this Brutus bomb thing where the guy basically they get him in an electric chair position, and then he jumps onto him, and it looked like the guy literally jumped and landed onto Damian Priest's head, and the Priest ends up hitting this guy with his finisher, or the other guy with the finisher,
South of
and
Heaven.
he pins him. Yeah, the chokeslam South of Heaven. He pins him 1, 2, 3, and at 3.1, Julius Creed kicks out, and Damian Priest looked fucking livid. He looked so pissed. He's storming around the ring. He's just angry. And then he takes the guy while they're all doing the victory celebration. He takes Julius Creed, who was still in the ring laying down. He picks him up and he tosses him out of the ring like it's the 1980s.
Yeah.
Like I haven't seen.
So check this. Basically, I'm watching the finish and I'm going, okay, there's 1 minute left before they gotta, get out of there because it's 10:59. This is going on. And they normally stop at 11 o'clock exactly. They don't go overtime anymore. And it just looks so awkward. Now, I get it if there was like maybe a few extra seconds left in the match, if that was the case. But kind of meditating on it based upon what I saw, if that was going to be the finish, either A, it was kind of awkward in the execution if he was going to kick out at 3, or the fact that he kicked out just right after 3 just for the sake that you're trying to say, hey, these guys are, they're not going to give up. They're going to get back in the title hunt. But then you kind of harken back to what happened with Ronda Rousey at WrestleMania 35, I think it was, 36. Yeah, 35. And she did, she kicked out at 3 and they did nothing with it. So as soon as I go on Twitter.
I think most likely, I'm sorry, continue. I'm sorry. I'm cutting you off.
No. I was just going to say, if they're actually going to follow up on this, because funny enough, on Twitter, very few people actually were talking about that. Not everybody was, which I thought was weird, because you would think that the IWC would be insulted by that. Well, I mean, I'm talking like just a few messages on Twitter where it wasn't like a big deal. Everybody else necessarily didn't even talk about it as much.
I thought maybe I was just imagining it in my head, like, oh, maybe it's just kayfabe. But I did hear a few reviewers talk about it, which was strange because it's like, or I guess not strange, but like as you said, you would think if it's if one person noticed it, you think a lot of people would. But if you go back and everybody goes back and watches that match, either Julius Creed was supposed to kick out at 2, or he wasn't supposed to kick out at all, obviously, because he got beat, and he kicked out selfishly to protect himself, and Damian Priest was pissed off about that. Or maybe Damian Priest was just fucking pissed off because the guy landed on his head. So
Yeah, or something like
it
that.
may-
Yeah, something went wrong there. I don't know what it was, but something was not right. And yeah, Damian Priest's facial expression said
He shit
that
on him.
pretty loudly.
He took a shit on
Yeah,
him.
probably.
Like
Yeah.
actually shit himself.
Joe, did you see it? Did you just
No.
did you see the clip?
No.
I would if you could, like, maybe not on air or whatever, or like maybe I don't know, I would try to rewatch that clip because
Where is it? You
it,
think?
it's
on YouTube.
It's
on YouTube.
It's at the end of the Creed brothers versus the Judgment Day match. It's as soon as Damian Priest pins him for the ending fall, you like, yeah.
All right, I'll watch it. Now.
But again, you got to understand though, there was literally 1 minute left in the broadcast. So even if they tried to do something, they had very little time to do it. So it kind of felt like maybe something was dragging, or maybe something. Actually, remember when Rhea Ripley was in the electric chair deal on the outside before she face planted right there in the ring? Even though it wasn't like that long of a time, it felt like an eternity before the spot was made. Because at that point,
wait, are you talking about the guy kicked out? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, so the guy kicked out at 3.
He kicks out at 3.
I just saw that. Wait a minute, let me see.
Look at Priest's reaction.
Can Priest take advantage into the cover? Is it enough? It is. The Judgment Day survive.
Yeah, but watch his face.
I think he got hurt. So he got hit in the head.
But look how.
Wait a minute, hold on a minute.
Yeah, but Priest, look how pissed Priest looks, because not only that, but watch until they do the celebration in the ring, and then you'll see something.
Hold on a second. Oh, they skipped something.
Yeah.
Priest.
No, the highlight on YouTube. They skipped the highlight on YouTube.
So Priest picks up that guy who kicks out 3.1, and he tosses him out of the ring when they're doing the celebration, which they never do anymore. Usually the guy rolls out on his own, but Priest storms around the ring. It looked like not only did he get hurt, like he landed on his ear or something, but then this guy has the audacity to kick out at 3.1. So
well, no,
he literally hoists him up and he throws him out.
I think it's less about the kick out and way more about the injury. But I think the kick out was like, oh, wow.
Wait a minute. Has anything been reported about one of the Creed brothers being injured? Because I haven't heard anything.
No, it's Priest that's injured.
I don't.
Oh, Priest? I haven't heard anything.
Yeah, he's holding he's holding his ear.
Yeah,
so
because
maybe,
Mustafa.
Okay.
At the end of
they cut away
match,
from everything. Like this YouTube edit is like they cut the guy getting tossed out of the ring, got stuck in the ropes.
If you could somehow find the original clip, like I don't know, I'm not saying you have to, but if you could go back and watch it, if you go back and watch it, you'll just know, like, that is just something you don't usually see, especially on WWE, like maybe AEW or something like that, or Ring of Honor. Yeah, but
yeah, he's just irritated.
WWE,
He got his eardrum blown up or something, and he's pissed. That's what it is.
I think, well, it's a combination of that and the guy kicking out 3.1. If the guy didn't kick out 3.1, I don't think he would be. I don't think he would have tossed him out of the ring.
I think he would have.
Because that's also not.
No, I'm dead serious. I don't think it's about the kick out as much. But I think that added to it. I think he's already upset about being hurt. Whatever happened, he got hurt on his. I got to find the match to see where he got hurt. Like,
here's the other thing too.
I'll tell you. You could probably find it just a few seconds earlier. But what happened was they do two of these Brutus bombs, one to Balor and one to Priest. They get them on their shoulders, and then the bigger guy, who's not the guy who gets pinned, he jumps from the top of the rope and basically does like a cannonball on top of them, and he lands right on. It looks like I think he lands either on Priest's face or Priest lands on his ear or something. Like, it was a very awkward landing.
He definitely is grabbing his ear. Like, that's definitely a thing.
The other thing that I was thinking of, because I've seen wrestlers kick out at 3. I mean, Mick Foley's done that. Sergeant Slaughter has done that. Various other people that we grew up watching has done that.
Yeah, but it's not a noob. It's not a noob. Like man, like when I saw the last time I saw that, and honestly, I think anybody who does it is kind of selfish as fuck for doing it. The last time I remember seeing it was WrestleMania 30. Triple H got pinned by Daniel Bryan, and then Triple H definitely kicked out at 3. Like,
well, no, the reason for doing that spot is to show that whether it be the babyface or the heel doesn't give up, even though, I mean, Kane did that at WrestleMania 14, and that was just a sign to say the guy that's getting beat still has life in him. It's just that he wasn't able to do it in time. It's, it's an old school.
To me, I would take it as the guy lost consciousness for a second.
Oh, I found
out.
it. Oh yeah, the guy landed on his fucking head. He's fucking fucking idiot lands on his fucking whole head. Oh my god.
Yeah, but
bro.
that's not even. But that's not the guy who he pins though. So it's
Yeah.
like I don't know if he would have. I don't know if he would have done the extra shit like tossing him out of the ring or been as mad because accidents happen in the ring.
I don't think he knows who the guy is at this point.
It's like on top of everything. Like, okay, you made a mistake, whatever. Then you kick out at 3.1. Who the fuck do you think you are? Triple H? Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, that is stupid too. And that definitely
that also could have been a planned spot too. I don't know.
No, I think he was already upset, and like you said, that is like a what the fuck? What are you, Hulk Hogan? Like Undertaker? Like, I mean, it was weird. It's weird, but he's definitely more upset about the ear, the guy landing on his head. But
also, doesn't he have like massive piercings on his ear or whatever, and he wears them during the match? So, like, God forbid if it wouldn't
but you know what?
Split him.
He might not
because
have,
he knows
he may not have thrown that guy out of the ring had he not kicked out at 3-1, because so I think he's angry already. But I think that you might be right that because otherwise it is the other guy that landed on him. It's not that guy, but he's pissed definitely about getting hurt, but. Yeah, you're right about it. Could be both. I think it is a combination of like you guys are retards.
Exactly. I think honestly, I think they're great wrestlers, the Creed brothers, but as like promo wise, they are not good. In NXT 2.0, if nobody was watching at this time, but when they were in the Diamond Mine, they were so bad. They cut some of the worst promos ever. Had great matches, but were terrible promos that they made Roderick Strong look like Shawn Michaels in 1997, bro. Like Roderick Strong, and acting wise too, backstage acting. I mean, these guys act like fucking, like I don't know what to describe them as, robot jocks. Like just machines. They don't feel like real fucking people.
Right.
And now, like I don't know. I think calling them up was way too soon.
Oh, yeah.
Like, yeah, they're good wrestlers. But this is clearly because, and I was talking about this, I made a video on it a few days ago, where it's like, why are we pushing teams that nobody cares about? And we're pushing women that nobody cares about when people like the Alpha Academy. The Alpha Academy are one of their most over tag teams. And Maxine Dupree is actually one of their most over women on the Raw roster. But you know what they get treated like? They get treated like they're pieces of shit. And then these boring losers like Ivy Nile and the Creed brothers are getting the opportunities. They're getting pushed, and like nobody really gives a shit about them. It's just annoying. It's frustrating. It's clear like, oh, Triple H is being like, oh no, you guys will get over. They'll see. Yeah, well, it's not working so far.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And these guys, they might do something, but man, I don't know. They're right now. You can't tell what they are. They're like, you know how the Rockers, like, let's think about Shawn Michaels and Marty Jannetty when they first came up, and even later on, they were just always, you could tell they're a tag team, man. They're a good tag team, and they're gonna do stuff. But like, these guys are up here. And you don't really know what they are at all. They're like just a schmozzed tag team. They don't have an identity really yet. That they don't have any momentum or anything. They're just athletic guys. A couple of athletic guys on a tag team together. They don't have anything else. And if they're as bad on the promo like you're saying they are, then they're gonna have trouble. Because they don't.
I mean, have you heard them cut a promo?
No.
Go look up something from NXT 2.0, like any backstage segment. I mean, it's atrocious.
It's just gonna piss me off. Very bad. I'm gonna get pissed. I'm gonna be like, why the fuck are they there?
They're very bad.
Did you see the stretcher job at NXT tonight? By the way,
The what?
No, I didn't. I don't really watch NXT much.
There was a structured job that they did. I believe it was in the main event. I could be wrong. It was just sent to me a little while ago. Apparently, they did a structured job, and people were like, "Oh my god, is it real?" I'm like, "Dude, if it was a real structured job, you wouldn't be on camera. So of course it's a work."
I don't know, man. What about that time Batista and Undertaker, man? I mean, Batista speared him off the stage, and there was an explosion. I was terrified. And then it was so crazy when they did it 4 other times.
Oh, it was
10 other times.
Oh,
I think
God.
the first time they did it, I think the first time they did it was with Edge and Matt Hardy.
This is
sending well wishes to the so they basically did the structured job. They were trying to convince the audience that this was a real situation, and he had the neck brace on. They put him on the board and brought him out.
Man, they just did that too again with the thing with what's his face with Braun or whatever. They just did that.
Yeah, but he's coming back in
I don't think that's the same spot on NXT, right? They didn't go for a stage.
See this? He's in such pain, bro, that the whole time the guy's covering him. He's literally covering him, and the whole time Priest is just holding his head. He's not even there. He's holding his head. He's still holding his head.
Well, again, it's like that. Like the kicking out at 3.1 is the icing on the cake, but he definitely is probably mostly mad about getting injured, because if he gets injured now with the fucking Money in the Bank and the tag team titles and being where he is right now,
it screws up almost everybody's plans at that point.
Look at the ref.
It not only screws up everybody's plans, it screws up his plans most definitely. They're gonna vacate the fucking Money in the Bank.
The fucking highlight blanks it out, but the referee's talking to him for quite a bit.
And he also knows that Charlotte just fucking got injured and is going to be out for 9 months.
Dude, everybody's getting injured. Even in AEW, people are getting injured. It's crazy right now.
Dude, what's up with Lana? She's in fucking the hospital for 4 days. She's going to lose her arm or something.
Yeah, Lana.
In AEW because they're fucking idiots. I'm sorry.
They need her,
sorry that there's a reason why WWE wrestlers wrestle a safer style, because they're wrestling all the time. You try to do your New Japan wrestling shit all the fucking time, and you try to make these fucking insane false finish matches at every fucking turn. Not only is it a boring product to watch because it's the same old shit, it's why I don't like indie wrestling, but it's also why people get hurt and become Chris Benoit's. All right, you fucking smash your head in to the fucking ground. Yeah, what do you think's gonna happen? I honestly think Daniel Bryan, great wrestler, or Bryan Danielson, great wrestler, but I think he's a fucking moron. The first time he comes back, this is back in WWE, first thing he does when he comes back after being all out for concussions is do a bunch of flying headbutts that look painful as fuck and are literally the thing that the guy who murdered his family does. I think Bryan Danielson, great guy or a great wrestler, but is a fucking retard. And also he's stupid with his opinions about wrestling. He acts like everything he did in WWE, he's like, I just personally never liked any of the stuff I did. Yeah, you didn't like main eventing.
You think that you think the headbutts though, because he doesn't really headbutt you. So you think I never got that that the headbutts are what causes.
He does a flying headbutt. He does a
but he also does headbutts while in the standing position, and he literally does that from time to time with the opponent. Not all the time.
He's not really headbutting anybody. So why is that contributing to the CTE?
Because you're landing on your head regardless. You're the way, dude, if you look at the first one of the first ones he does coming back in the WWE, it looked so nasty, and you can tell he fucking hurt himself. It's are you stupid?
And also suicide dives as well.
You have a family now. You have a family now.
I never
so you
did.
Kill them.
I almost never did headbutts, but one time, maybe once, I did a headbutt, and it literally was because, and this was before Benoit murdered his family, but Benoit popped into my head, and I randomly thought about that, and I did the headbutt, and it was nothing. I landed all it was nice. You just basically land on your stomach, and the guy sells it you got headbutted, and then that's it. It didn't really. But I mean, I don't. Not that I'm anybody, but I'm just saying. I don't know. I feel like
the way I've seen him,
more impact on your back.
The way I've seen him land with the flying headbutts, it looked like it really does look like he maybe not hits completely with his head. Obviously, he's not smashing the guy in the face. I'm not saying that, but it looks like the way he lands, it definitely hurts.
You know what I
because
think?
it's a very, I don't know.
You know what I think hurts more?
But then again,
than the
I might
headbutt?
be uneducated. You know?
What I think hurts more than the fucking headbutt is when Bret Hart, and I know he's actually got head problems too, so maybe it helps it. But when Bret Hart used to get whipped into the buckle and he like waffled the fucking
that chest bump that he used taking the turnbuckle.
That and just a regular one. Bret Hart would ram into that buckle even on his back. He would ram into the thing. Bro, his head.
Or what Shawn Michaels would do, he would like he would get thrown into the buckles, and then he would like
Bounce
basically like flail outside of the ring and like bounce off the apron.
Oh, I mean, Flair was. Yeah. Well, Flair was already doing that, but even when Michaels did it, you remember Joe at WrestleMania 14, where he could barely do it because his back was all screwed.
Yeah,
up.
and he waffled the buckle instead. That was crazy looking. I loved it though because normally Shawn goes up and over.
But doesn't he usually go over and outside of the ring, or am I thinking of a different guy?
No. Shawn would do like almost kind of like a barrel roll and would like come back up on his feet.
Yeah, he liked it.
No. You know what? I'm
Shawn
thinking
liked
of
to
Triple
get.
H. I'm thinking of Triple H.
Yes,
Triple H would do that.
No, so Shawn does the roll up, and then he would come back, and he liked to be clotheslined usually. Triple H would do that thing where he gets thrown, and it looks like he's going into the buckle, but he goes up and over the rope and grabs it. And
dude, he's injured himself doing that, by the way. I remember like it was like a backlash or something. He would literally, because he would take his one arm, like normally his left arm, and would literally cross over in the corner. I think he like tore like a ligament in his shoulder or something, and he was out for a little bit, but then he came right back. Another time he like literally tore, I think like a rotator cuff or something. Like it was bad. It was even worse than that.
Yeah, it's not a normal way of doing anything. He knows that. You know, he wants to be unexpected with it. You have to do it like last minute. So I think that's why it opened him up to potential injury.
You would think when Mick Foley would do that cactus clothesline all the time, like he would be concussed at some point. But normally he would just, he would land on his hip, which is another reason why he's, not walking properly today, because he constantly on his, his side.
The most dangerous move, obviously, to take probably is the Cobra,
the Sex Buster. But
the sex. I was gonna say, yeah. Santino's Cobra looks painful.
Shit,
No.
SJW bitch Cody Rhodes isn't even as big as Smarks make him out to be. No one cares about his feuds, and R-Truth literally got more attention than Cody Dogfucker and Ender of Racism Rhodes.
Yeah, R-Truth got more attention than Roman this week too. R-Truth gets more attention than a lot of wrestlers.
Well,
Triple H put him over strong at a press conference.
I honestly think that's
statement.
not. I just don't believe that. Bimbo Baggins, thank you for the $5 and becoming a $5 shit bum. I think people have really liked a lot of Cody's matches in WWE. Now in AEW, I loved Cody's matches in AEW because they were always the classic match, right? The version of wrestling. And
very slow paced, not sped up, took its time.
A lot of emotion in his matches in AEW, and he's had some pretty good ones in WWE. But it's still, I don't think Cody's matches have been as good and as emotional in WWE quite as much as they were in AEW. But it's close, and he's still doing really well.
I think he hasn't gotten in the proper feud yet to invoke said emotions. Because I mean, again, I didn't watch the AEW at all, but I did see his match with his brother, and that was a really fantastic match.
Classic.
Yeah, and again, that has more emotions going in than anything he's done in WWE, but that's because it was his brother.
They were what I would say is they're all spin-offs of that, Luke. Like if you didn't see the other ones, they're all spin-offs. Like that was probably the pinnacle, right? That's the best one. It wasn't even in AEW, right? That was the first All Out or whatever. Is that right? Or All In?
No, the first Double or Nothing.
Oh, really? Was it Double or Nothing?
Yeah, it was him and Dustin, Double or Nothing, and it was May 29th of 2019, I believe.
I don't think that's right. Like, because didn't he say, "I need a brother" at the end of the match, and that was
that was that night. That was that night.
Okay, all right.
In Vegas.
Double or Nothing.
Yeah.
Wait,
Double or Nothing, 2019.
That wasn't Double
right.
Nothing. Double or Nothing. Like I don't even remember. I don't remember anything, but I don't think that was Double or Nothing, because wasn't Double or Nothing the night that Moxley debuted? And I'm pretty sure
that was the same night. That was the same night. Moxley debuted the same night they had that match, and the main event was Kenny Omega versus Chris Jericho. I believe I believe Jericho went over, if I'm not mistaken, and Moxley came out and pretty much DDT'd both of them and left the building. Or actually, yeah, he also took Omega out
But
to
dude,
the outside
wait a
and
minute.
DDT'd him on the ship.
Moxley debuted, I thought, way after Dustin
gonna
and
look
Cody.
this
No,
up.
same night.
What?
I thought Moxley had already debuted.
No, he
Double or nothing.
debuted that night at Double or Nothing. Because remember, it was just right after
Yeah.
he left WWE
Oh,
at a
Ristaf is
house
right.
show.
Ristaf is right. He's right. It's Double or Nothing.
Well, we were wrong, Mustafa, and you were right. We were wrong, Rupert, and you.
That's
were
right. You know what? Because who did Cody face then at All In? The first All In, was that the NWA match?
Oh yeah, that was with Nick Aldis.
That was Aldis. Okay. All right.
Hey, well, speaking of Cody and having great matches, I actually have made my top 10 list of the top 10 WWE matches of 2023. You know, and I think since everybody here has already watched, I think everybody here has watched them. You know, I was wondering if we could discuss it because I have nothing else to do with my night.
Oh boy.
I mean, that's up to Joe.
Yeah, it's real-
I thought last week's Raw, just in my opinion, I thought last week's Raw was the best Raw that they did all year.
This week's Raw.
Yes, no. Last week's Raw I thought was the best. This week's Raw was good. I'm not saying that it wasn't horrible, but I thought last week's was just the best. That was with the CM Punk and Seth Rollins promo, the Nia Jackson, Becky Lynch, their first promo that they've had, and a few other different things that happened. But that's just me. But nonetheless, yeah, I mean, if you want to go for it, Rojas, go ahead.
What do you want to
Nia
do?
Jax.
What do you want to do, Rojas? I mean, I didn't even want to talk wrestling tonight, but we're really into it. Go ahead. What do you want to talk about?
Well, I mean, I thought you were because you put it in the title. So
No,
I was just gonna say, why don't we do because it's almost 2024? Why don't we do a top 10 WWE matches of 2023? I already made a list.
Oh, I don't
and
remember.
I was
any of
wondering
them.
if you guys would agree with me or not.
I don't remember any of them.
You don't remember any matches? Okay.
No.
Okay, first match. I'll just name a random match. Sami Zayn versus Roman Reigns. Do you remember that?
At what event?
Elimination Chamber.
No, I don't remember it really.
Wow. Okay. How about Cody versus Roman?
At WrestleMania.
Yeah.
I think I liked that match, yeah.
You know, I think I have to do this in a separate video for myself, you know, just on my own pathetic YouTube channel, because I don't think you're going to remember any of them.
No.
So-
I mean, I'll throw a couple matches out. I mean, I really love the IC triple threat match at Mania,
Was
which I
it
thought
good?
it was really good, dude. They beat the crap out of each other.
Like, this is how bad my brain is nowadays. I think it might have something to do with me getting older. It might have something to do with my head sort of being numb to everything. And it might also
probably just have
I think it also has something to do with the fact that I work a ton now.
That's probably why.
I'm telling you, bro.
It's all those given fact. You know, I understand. It's also you're not rewatching them, so I have the time to rewatch them. So, yeah, me personally, I've really loved Cody versus Roman. I really loved Sammy versus Roman. So I'm gonna just run them down and see, I don't know, just to give you guys what it is. So I had number 10, Cody and Jay versus the Judgment Day. I had number 9, Logan Paul versus Seth Rollins. I had as number 8, actually, Gunther versus Drew versus Sheamus. I thought it was good. I just didn't think it was-
I remember Sheamus and Gunther. That was pretty good, yeah.
Well, that was last year. Sheamus, Gunther, and Drew had a triple threat.
Oh.
Yeah.
I don't remember that.
And it was a fantastic match. I just didn't think it was as good as everybody was saying it was. I also just hate that Gunther has more 5-star rated matches than fucking Sean, apparently, because that's what people fucking tout around now. It annoys me. I don't agree with those ratings at all. I don't think it should matter. But when fucking people tout them around and be like, this is a 5-star, one of the only 5-star rated matches in WWE, I'm like, what? To who? To this old piece of shit who gets paid off?
Dave Meltzer's a fucking idiot.
Luke Rojas, I get it. And more importantly,
Kurt Angle doesn't have one 5-star rated match, by the way.
I know.
Jay White has like a million of them.
his highest rated match, believe it or not, was with him and Benoit at Royal Rumble, and that was only 4 3/4. Right?
He was gonna give,
And
he basically said I would give it 5. I felt like a 4.75 that day.
but Luke, I'm not trying to necessarily say I'm agreeing with Meltzer on this one, but the athletes are extremely different than, let's say, 20 years ago.
Yeah, they're not as
genetics. Good. Not as good, though. Not as good. But they definitely, as far as genetics go, yes. And they can go probably 2 hours worth of if they wanted to do with the match time. Just not as great psychology. But I will say, I wish there were more 5 stars from people like Angle, people like Sean and others like that. Or
they did have 5-star matches. They did.
I know.
The match that you just mentioned, Kurt Angle versus Chris Benoit, despite what Chris Benoit did, is a 5-star match at Royal Rumble. Their tag team match they had with Edge and Rey Mysterio at No Mercy was
Angle and Sean. Angle and Sean in Mania.
Undertaker and Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania 25 and I think 26 are both 5-star matches.
Absolutely.
But again, it's like, why can't we just say that? Why can't we just say it's a great match or something like that instead of saying everything is a 5-star? I'm getting into this whole thing, but I just don't like when people say, "Wow, one of the few 5-star rated matches." It's like,
it sucks.
What do you mean?
That's horrible.
One of the few 5-star rated matches in WWE. It's like, what do you mean? I've seen plenty of 5-star matches in WWE. Oh, because this one guy who gets paid off by other fucking companies to stroke their fucking dicks says that they're only 4.75. Yeah, it's not like he's not fucking just biased and getting paid off, just like I said, and also doesn't like WWE because WWE doesn't give a shit about him.
Well, that's right.
They don't try
Remember
to pander,
that.
They don't try to pander to him.
They
don't try to pander to him like all these other companies do.
They turned on him and they bury him all the time and they make fun of him. And
Bruce Pritchard and Eric Bischoff ripped him a new a-hole every week when it comes to a review of something. And sometimes rightfully so. There are other times where I'm like, well, the only thing that I ever really give Meltzer credit on is when it comes to certain logistics.
But who blows him? Who talks about who's
everyone,
a mark?
Everyone.
No. Who's a mark for Dave Meltzer?
Kenny Omega, the Young Bucks,
Tony Khan. There you go.
Certain people within the 4th floor of Titan Towers. Some of them don't work and are just behind the scenes.
But the point is that Tony Khan.
AEW fans too. AEW fans themselves fucking suck him off all the time, and then they're the first ones to be like, "Well, it's just his opinion. He can have an opinion what he wants." It's like, okay, then stop sucking him off and acting like his opinions are fact, and be like, and another thing is opinions around.
And another thing is, I would question his opinions as well. You know what I mean? Which people argue that you can't question somebody's opinion, and yet everybody gets all butthurt because you do so, and that's stupid. It's supposed to be objective.
Why aren't other critics' 5-star ratings, validated the same? You know what I mean? Why isn't what Jim Cornette rated a 5-star match, or someone else who's a fucking wrestling journalist?
At least Jim,
that's because
Jim took bumps. That's the other thing, too. At least Jim Cornette actually took bumps. Dave Meltzer has never taken a bump in his life.
There's not really many people who are like Dave Meltzer in terms of his position in the wrestling community. He's like a legit journalist. But I don't understand why only his reviews get touted around. When there's other people reviewing matches and saying they're 5-star.
Others do, too, but not as much as Dave's, though. That's the thing.
I don't know. I think it's stupid. I went on a whole tangent about it, and I'm
What's your number 7?
Rage about it. I'm gonna rage about it to myself in the bathroom later.
Birthday. So you became a member. Colonel Stutters, thank you for becoming a member. 14 months in a row, Colonel Stutters as a member. And remember, we're looking for $25 producers on Patreon as well. And go check out that if you can, and you can get wet. We'll have the graphic up this week for the new producers that are coming up.
Everyone knows I'm out the window. Yep, yo, motherfucker, no romance.
Perfectly timed with the my niggas.
chance, come and take this dance. And leave
It's
me here.
clock
Bad
o'clock,
motherfucker,
everybody.
got no fear. What the time? What's the time, motherfucker? Time, motherfucker.
What time?
Put it in a happy rhyme, motherfucker. It's clock o'clock. Bang, bang, tick tock. Thug in a sock. Oil shot.
Oil
Two
shot.
on consignment, one in stock. What's the time, motherfucker? Say clock o'clock.
Bimbo
Say
Baggins.
clock o'clock.
That's a great
The
name,
pro
by the way.
wrestling and comic book industries are going to get hit with a nasty reality check next year. It's a long time coming because wrestling is dying if it isn't already dead. There is no wrestling boom or golden renaissance era now.
I mean, yeah. I mean, but you know what, though? Here's the thing, Bimbo Baggins. I would agree with you, except here's the thing. 3 years ago, we hit the bottom of the barrel time. Like 2 years ago, whatever. Bottom of the barrel time ever in wrestling, from what I can ever remember. And it's actually going up a little bit right now. It's still not good. And you're right. You could be 100% right, and God knows I've been touting shit's going down for 12 years now. But, things
And
are...
isn't it ironic? Isn't it ironic how some of the quality is going down, but yet they're making a lot of money?
Well, yeah, that's been going on for a while.
Again, money and the Nielsen rating, I don't think it's much bigger, much different, on terms of like internet views or whatever, but the Nielsen rating doesn't really account for that, does it? Because I feel like, I don't know, in order for them to be making this much money, it has to be more than just the 1.6 on an average Raw. You know what I mean?
No, it's the contracts that they have, and also the fact that they're making a lot of money via merchandise.
But do you think there's also there's just a lot of people who don't watch the show at all? Like, I don't really watch on TV. I watch it through a stream. So how many people do you think would account for that? Like, people who watch it, either watch clips of it on YouTube or watch basically
DVR it maybe, or the digital
DVR,
platforms.
DVR it or watch it on basically an illegal stream or something like that, because that has to be at least 100,000 so people. Because for the longest time, I didn't have cable, and the only way I was able to watch the show was to watch the clips of it on YouTube. So I wonder how many people that translates, including the 1.6 that actually do watch it on cable.
I think that there's more people watching it than we realize, but it's still lower. It's still down, because the other thing is there's people that watch in spurts, right? There's that 1.3 million people they're watching every week, but then there's 5-6 million people who take breaks and come back at random times, and so there's all that going on. But I mean, dude, even with CM Punk and everybody back, I mean, what did they do, a 1.5 the other night? Is that right?
Oh, wait. Oh, the first Raw that came back?
Monday.
Yeah. Oh, this past Monday?
Yeah.
He sounds so excited. This past Monday?
No. But dude, I'm trying to figure out, was it the Monday after Survivor Series? The 2 weeks after that, which was literally last week?
I'm not going to count the Monday.
Okay.
I mean, listen, the Monday after the Survivor Series did what, 1.8? I think that did 1.8.
I think it did
it was a 1.8.
So they brought in about 300,000 extra people than normal because Punk was there. And they had maybe 50, 80,000, because now after a pay-per-view, they typically do about 50,000 to 100,000 extra after a pay-per-view nowadays. Back in the day, it used to be a lot more. But now, so with that and Punk back, they went to a 1.8 from a 1.4 something. So take that as you will. The next week, though, they were down back to 1.4 something. So,
yeah.
Because they screwed up, because we all said it. They screwed up with debuting Punk the way they did. His debut at the pay-per-view was more exciting with him just coming out. And then on Raw, it was just and then it was
it was literally 8 minutes left in the program, and they put him on for the last bit. And I understand from their perspective, but it didn't work out, obviously. You should have put him out at least in hour 1 or hour 2 to start off that hour, but they wanted him, I guess, for the end because he was a brand new return. And they did that years prior with Triple H and people like that. But again, that was a different time and people were more engaged back then. Plus they had bigger ratings back then. So
I'm not going to go into what I think, because I already gave what I would have done with him that night. I gave multiple examples of what I would have done. But the fact is that all the hype and interest, it wasn't bad, but it was kind of just like, okay, I guess this doesn't feel as crazy as I thought it was going to be. Okay, that shouldn't feel like that. It should feel like, holy shit, what's going to happen? There's a change in the fucking wind, and we don't know what's going to happen.
And then 2 weeks later, go ahead.
Well, I'm just thinking it's the AEW return. You already saw the guy. So it's and AEW visually looks very similar to WWE television, so it's not as jarring. It's not as jarring to see him in that environment anymore.
It wasn't as good.
And not only that, but he was also kind of ruined because he already did kind of return to the WWE. Yes, it was under the Fox deal, but he's on WWE television basically.
He already had returned
again. That's ruined.
He had already returned in 2021, so the idea that he's returning to wrestling was kind of already done with, and he did an amazing rating for.
He's basically returned
3 times.
He's basically returned like 3 or 4 times at this point.
Yeah, exactly. So basically, we already knew he was back returning. In the business.
He's always coming.
Jesus. Well, I mean, and now also he's planning on hanging out in NXT more often to like help out behind the scenes, which allegedly people are rumoring and innuendoing about the fact that he might be replacing Shawn Michaels years down the line.
What's the innuendo there? What is the innuendo in those rumors?
What's the innuendo? That he fucks Cora Jade?
Oh, God. That apparently Shawn Michaels,
have you seen that video?
Yeah, I've seen it. Yeah, it's weird, but,
No, Cora Jade was like an old fan of his. And she
it's weird.
She went
weird
to one
to me. Like, you were that young. Yeah, this is right after I think he got fired, right?
This is what's fucked up. Watching the wrestlers who are wrestling now, meeting these wrestlers and as kids, but like it's during a time when it's like I was an adult still, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on, bro? Like I grew up wanting to see Shawn Michaels when I was a kid, but that was the 90s and shit. And so these people are like, they're meeting him in like 08 and like 13 as kids, and it's like just weird to me. It's like, what the fuck?
Well, anyway, I think he's fucking Cora Jade.
No, dude, yeah, CM Punk is like getting weird with all these women down there. I mean, AJ Lee, just so you know, Punk's fucking every woman down there. Just letting you know.
Apparently, and again, I think if AJ were to ever return, go ahead.
They did like a video together, him, AJ, and Cora. They did like some sort of like TikTok or whatever. And I'm like,
it's like bring your daughter to work day or some stuff like that. Like he literally said that in the tweet. Bring your daughter to work day. By the way, AJ says hi.
And then he got them both to fucking blow him in the bathroom.
I was thinking this every time I saw another picture with him and a girl down there. I was like, what is going on? And then somebody on Twitter made a video, but I think that might have been the video you guys were talking about.
Somebody made a montage of all those photos.
And I'm like, dude, but I thought I was the only one thinking this. And I'm like, oh, thank God, I'm not the only one thinking this, because I was thinking it like, what?
And somebody put like hashtag Chick Magnic Punk, because that was like, yes, one of his aliases for CM. I thought it was Chicago.
I didn't even see those videos. I just thought it was funny to like think like, oh, what a wholesome video. Oh yeah, he's getting this bitch to suck his dick.
God.
Like, oh, what? It's a WWE fan gets to meet his hero, and he's like, well, you really want to.
She's still got braces on her teeth. She's still like a young.
You really want to impress me?
What? She got braces on her teeth?
Yeah. No, the Cora Jade still had braces.
Oh, don't let the king find out.
Well, and he made her suck his dick with those braces.
Yeah, that's what everybody wants.
The cum got stuck on the retainer. I saved it.
Oh,
anyway. Anyway, to get back to my shitty, stupid, nobody cares list. Number 7 was Cody versus Brock at Night of Champions. I actually liked their Night of Champions match more than all the other matches they had, which was only 2, I guess. Well, I don't know why I said all the other. I'm such a
Backlash and SummerSlam.
Yeah, no, yeah. Night of Champions, I thought with the cast, I thought it was pretty obvious Cody was going to lose, but man, there were so many times throughout that match where I'm like, holy shit, are they actually going to have Cody win? And it really captivated me. It really got me interested. The crowd was insanely hot for the match too, and they bought into a lot of it. Yeah, it kind of was like, it got a little bit repetitive with the cast thing, but I thought that match was fucking great, and I don't think it gets talked about nearly as much as their SummerSlam match, which I thought, while it was good, felt very rushed because like Brock Lesnar rips his pants or something, and like the match ends 5 or 10 minutes early, it feels. But that match ended way too quick and abruptly. And also it has this weird spot where like Cody hits him with steel steps but doesn't get disqualified. Like,
oh, it was weird. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, that spot was horrible. Yeah.
So but overall, that I think that whole feud is actually even though it doesn't really make sense of why Brock went after Cody, maybe this was just a test or something. I think it's gonna be remembered a little bit more favorably because I remember a lot of people not liking it when it was happening, but since I think the end result kind of.
I was going to say that's the thing, because coming out of Brock, what did Cody do? He's working with the Judgment Day and Shinsuke, and that's it. Like there was nothing really, after that feud with Brock, which by the way is an incredible feud as you brought up. But going into his
Roman.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Right, but even after the stare down and him going with Brock and having that feud, it's like, okay, you got from SummerSlam now to Rumble to Mania, but really mainly SummerSlam to Mania, where you got to put all this filler in to convincingly, but not the casual fan, not the women, not the children, but literally the 18 to 35 male demographic that we should still be cheering for Cody if he's to wrestle Roman night 2 at Mania.
And they're essentially kind of doing this, and they're essentially kind of doing the same thing with Roman, because either he's not on television, you just get a bunch of filler shit with Jimmy Uso and Solo and Paul Heyman by themselves for like 4 weeks, or when he is on the show, he talks for like a little bit, then he goes backstage and sits on a leather couch, and that's all he does. Like, does Roman Reigns fucking go anywhere besides sit on a leather couch next to a TV?
Gym, hangs out with his kids. That's about it.
But I'm saying like. This is something that I noticed. As like the WWE Undisputed Champion, wouldn't it be cool if we like saw him somewhere like at a palatial like resort or something, or like
at least like via satellite doing something? Yeah, packages
like like he's sitting in a limo or something, or he's sitting at the private jet. But instead, all we see him do is sit on a leather couch next to a fucking flat screen TV. That's
and constantly giving the bloodline crap. That's it.
It's either you see him there or you see him in the ring. You don't see him anywhere else, and it kind of like makes his title reign, in a sense, maybe not the title reign, but it makes the WWE world feel really small, because it's like this is the guy who is always constantly away from the WWE, but the only time you ever get to see him is either in the ring or sitting on a leather couch next to a flat screen TV, sitting at it awkwardly, looking at it from a sidewards angle.
While we as fans,
looks like it's really painful for your neck. By the way, like, come on, just
while we as fans basically take that same image and erase whatever is on the TV and put something behind it, just so he can have like that reaction, like most people do, like with the memes and the gifs that they do. Like, famously, like John Moxley looking at the TV or Brock looking at the TV, we put some other image on there. Dude, it's every day. But what's your number 6, Luke?
My number 6 was Chad Gable versus Gunther, their third final match they had. I thought
that was a pay-per-view match, right?
No, it was actually on Monday Night Raw, similar to the match that Gunther just had with The Miz. I think Gunther is incredible. I think Chad Gable is incredible, and they had such a great pace to this match. It felt like there was never.
Was that the one where his children cried?
Yeah. It felt like there was never a predictable in this match. It felt like there was always something moving, something going forward. Like there was like just a constant pace to the match where it didn't feel like it was going too fast, but it didn't feel like it was going slow at points either. It reminds me very much of like when when Kurt Angle would wrestle Chris Benoit, they would just flow naturally into spots. They would do a suplex and then they would do a rest spot, but it didn't feel like
a sports entertainment match. It actually felt like a pro wrestling match.
Yeah, but it felt like a very competitive thing, but they were also telling a story too. And Gunther has this way to just tell stories of like making the underdog really feel like an underdog and making it actually seem like at times, even though I didn't think Chad Gable was going to win, there was a few times where I'm like, oh my God, is Chad going to win? But then it would quickly like bring you like, no, Gunther's going to win. Oh wait, maybe Chad's going to, no, Gunther's like the way that you could just go back and forth on something that's kind of predictable, it really is impressive. So that's my number 6.
It was in his home state too. That was in his home state.
What's his home state?
Oh yeah, it was. And
Oklahoma?
No, it was was it Minnesota?
Alaska.
No, Minnesota, I think it was.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
My number 5 is
Minnesota. That's that's where my wife is from, and she's a whore.
Oh, damn it! I knew it.
You knew it. Yeah, I was the governor there.
My wife was from.
My wife is dead.
I got out of there as soon as that bitch died.
She was from St. Paul.
She was from
Went
St.
to the
Paul.
beautiful beaches of Mexico.
Anyway, number 5 was Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens versus the Usos at WrestleMania. Fantastic storytelling, like in terms of
one
like
of the
the
best
build up
tag
to this
matches
match.
I've seen in a while. And besides the AEW tag matches, that was a really great tag match.
I would have put this higher, but even though I thought this match was incredible, and I was so hyped from watching this match, rewatching it, I like it a lot still. But man, the amount of fucking super kicks really, really
Too many.
drives
Too
this
many.
match down. And it actually prevents it. It really just prevents me from enjoying it as much as I did the night I watched it. Obviously, I'm not going to enjoy it as much, but still,
it just reminded me of too many Young Bucks matches. If that's calling it too close to home, but it really was just that.
But there were still a lot of great spots in this match, and one of my favorite spots, like I don't know why, like it just stuck out in my mind. It was at like the later part of the match. Somebody got like Kevin Owens got hit with a big move, and then Sami Zayn got tossed out of the ring before he could help and break up the pinfall, and it really like added to the drama. And it's just like I don't know why, but that specific moment really gave it to that like, oh my God, like what else is gonna happen? Like, are they actually gonna win? And like that big 1D that happened in the match where like you thought Sami was gonna get pinned, and then Sami kicks out at like 2.9 or something. What an insane kick out. It had me believing that they were actually going to lose. And then, that big ending at the end with the 3 haluva kicks, very emotional. And it definitely is going to go down as one of the best WrestleMania endings of all time.
Probably one of the best tag matches in WrestleMania history in terms of the emotion going into as far as the build-up goes. I'm not talking about the actual match, but just mainly the build-up, the fact that it was a part of a long storyline, integral with like what was going on with Roman and all that stuff. That's probably one of the other reasons why it was that successful, because it was tied in with that.
It's outside of the tag team tables, ladders, and chairs matches that happened, and the triangle ladder match, which is a TLC match, but for some reason we can't count it. That's probably the best tag team match in WrestleMania. But anyway, my number 4 was Sami Zayn versus Roman Reigns. What do you think about that?
Elimination Chamber?
Yeah.
Elimination Chamber. Well, first of all, the crowd. When I remember that match, I just think of the crowd, because the night before on SmackDown, Sami goes out and the crowd was not stopping chanting his name or doing the Olay chant. It felt like an eternity. It was like, I remember back years ago, Hogan returned and he was on SmackDown and he got like a standing ovation that lasted like 10 minutes. It was insane. They edited it, for television purposes, but later on we found out that it was longer than that. And it went over huge. Yeah, well, again,
It went on for about. It actually went on for about 2 hours, and
Right
what
back.
we did is what we ended up doing was we actually ended up giving everybody in that arena $500, and I wrote them all an album.
Wait, Hogan, you wrote an album? I didn't know you could sing. I know your daughter sings, but yeah, that's a little.
Oh yeah,
well,
I wrote it with Jimmy Harp, and got some notes from Michael Jackson.
Well, you know
'cause I knew
something,
him.
dude? I wrote something too. I wrote Hulkamania sucks cock.
Sorry, that's Alex. That's Alex Jones. My Hogan has turned into Alex Jones. I'm sorry.
And and I can't do anybody but but Booker T. I'm fucking eating a burger right now.
But as I said,
Like a
but as I
fat
said,
piece of shit.
the crowd really made that match, and they couldn't do any wrong. When you have a great crowd and they're constantly responding to you, you can even just lift up your hand and they'll react. You can just say something stupid to them, they'll just react even harder. So they literally had it in the palm of their hand.
I thought that was a little bit annoying. Like it went on a little bit too long with the whole like stare down going on for like 10 minutes and shit. I didn't really enjoy that part of the match, but I think I think it was an insanely good match. Obviously, it had a lot of like there were a few points where I actually thought Sammy might win it. Which is like I said, very impressive for a match that seems pretty predictable to even get you. Like, oh my god, are they actually gonna do that? The only thing that really keeps it from me being higher is that I don't know. I just didn't like the way it kind of ended. Like I don't. It was weird. So like Jay comes out and he kind of like doesn't doesn't turn or whatever, but he distracts Sammy, and then like Roman hits him with like Roman hits Sammy with a few chair shots, and then he wins the match. Like I think it could have ended. I think you could have done that without a cheating ending, or you could have had Roman just, I don't know, pin him with a spear or something. Just for me, it hindered I didn't really like the ending, and I didn't also like that. They come out. Kevin Owens comes out at the end of the match to fucking save Sammy from getting a beatdown. Hey, why didn't you come down before when fucking Roman was hitting him with a chair, and then you could have helped Sammy win the title? You fucking idiot. Like that's the thing that didn't make sense to me. I can hear Joe off Mike barely. He's like, he's an idiot.
No. I mean, again, I got what you're saying on that front. I mean, again, but Sammy being in the bloodline for about a year, right, or 6 months to a year, whatever it was, and him being the comedy, but then also again bringing a certain sense of like, okay, I'll take the bumps for you guys. You guys just come back and just beat them down. I mean, that's a great role for him. Plus, also up to that point. And I said this before, Sammy was just doing the conspiracy gimmick. And although at first it kind of seemed like it had some legs, it really got old really quickly. But it wasn't until he joined the bloodline that he was almost like renewed. And it almost became like this whole new metamorphosis for him to be both legitimized in front of the audience, but really also in the back. And Vince, who was still in the creative at the time, was digging it. So they kept on doing more of that. And then even after Vince had left creative, it just grew from there, and it blossomed to this. Now he's a huge baby face, not as big as he was back in February, but still a big baby face and a big deal. So the idea that maybe next year he could potentially become the world heavyweight champion is still a possibility. But what does that mean?
I see him being a world champion soon, or at least being a champion, maybe an intercontinental champion. He might beat Gunther. Who knows? Hey, Ghost from the Coast. I don't give a shit if Joe killed himself listening to this fucking list. I'm gonna finish it. Damn it! All right, I'm so close. I'm not gonna fucking.
I hope he didn't drown. I hope he didn't drown in the puddle.
I'm listening, waiting for whatever. But by the way, I think Uso versus Gunther would be the match. That's great.
Do you think Jey Uso and Gunther? You know what? They actually did do a little bit of a setup for that match because Jey Uso, Can you
imagine that match, dude? Imagine that match opening WrestleMania.
You know what though? I don't see Gunther losing the title at WrestleMania, because if he loses the title at WrestleMania, then then like, are they gonna do a Roman losing the title? So it's like two biggest, longest reigns end at the same event. Like, I don't know if that's gonna happen. Maybe they might do it at Royal Rumble, or might do it at the Elimination Chamber or something, or maybe he holds the title after Mania. Who knows? But they did set it up a little bit where Ludwig Kaiser he came out and he attacked Kofi Kingston, and Jey Uso came out to save save Kofi. So we might be getting a Gunther versus Jey Uso match very soon. Anyway, my number 3 was the Bloodline Civil War. Yeah, nobody remembers
The match or like the
Oh,
event?
wait, which match? I'm sorry.
The Bloodline Civil War. That was the Solo Sikoa and Roman Reigns versus Jey Uso and Jimmy Uso at Money in the Bank.
Wait, was it Money in the Bank? I thought it. Oh, yeah, that's right. It was Money in the Bank. I was thinking of Sammy and Kevin in Saudi Arabia. No, I remember that match. Yeah, it was great. That's when Roman took the pin.
Yeah, Roman took the pin. Very, very great match. Insanely good crowd. Storytelling was just like the story.
Dude.
Story leading up to it too, with Jay kicking Roman in the face, had me so fucking like, I popped so hard for that because I wasn't seeing it coming. Like, I thought they were gonna stall for like another week or two before we got anything, and then just nope, it happens. I'm like, oh. So that had me very hyped. And when I went into this match, I was so hyped, bro.
No, dude. I was just gonna say, from February to, I think, when was Money in the Bank? July or June, something like that, dude.
July.
From elimination,
July,
yeah, okay, July. So from literally February to July, WWE had great pay-per-view crowds, or PLE crowds, and they were all hyped. I mean, again, SummerSlam was okay, I thought, but not necessarily because of the amount of people that were there or whatever, but from Elimination Chamber to Money in the Bank, those crowds were so good, and they were making these matches so worth remembering, that literally just talking about just the Usos and Roman and Solo. I mean, again, you remember the match, but it was just like, again, I just remember the crowd. The crowd made those matches, and
to
the
E-Man, I'm sorry, but to E-Man in the chat, the only it's the top WWE matches of the year. I don't watch AEW. I don't watch new Japan wrestling or fucking All-Star
New
Wrestling.
Japan.
Yeah, new World Order. I don't watch that shit, so I don't know. You know, maybe they are having 15-star matches like fucking Dave Meltzer says, but the top matches of WWE.
No, 16.
Sorry,
16, man. No, it was 16.
Oh, yes.
You missed it.
Yeah, 16. Anyway, the top matches in the WWE this year are all from the fucking Bloodline. I'm sorry, they were in the most interesting feuds, had the most interesting storylines going into matches, which made the matches better. Storylines and characters make matches better. I don't know why,
Thank you.
like, if you think that just because, oh, this is a great match, because it's a random fucking match between so-and-so Japan wrestler against a so-and-so Japan wrestler, and they have a fucking
Or Kenny Omega,
Kenny
Omega versus
Yeah.
MJF, literally days in advance announced. Like, what are you talking, dude? That is not proper booking.
Yeah, if you think that match is better than a match that has 2-3 years of buildup, or months and months of buildup,
You are
then
crazy.
I don't know. I'm not even gonna say you're crazy. You just have a vastly different opinion on wrestling than me, and that's why my matches are all gonna be Bloodline in the top 5. So sorry if that offends you, but yeah, what is it?
Number 2.
Yeah, number 2 I think was Sammy and Kevin versus Roman Reigns and Solo Sikoa. Rostafa, talk about this real quick because I have to go find a charger.
This was actually one of my favorite tag match. Probably, you know what? Again, I loved Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn versus the Usos, but this probably has been my favorite tag match all year. You have Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. They walk down the ring, and if you remember, Sami Zayn is in his traditional native garb, like, you know, in his Arabic garb, and he had never had the opportunity to go to Saudi Arabia because, obviously, you know, whether it be, you know, the politics at the time, including a lot of guys that didn't want to go the first year because, you know, what happened with that, you know, reporter, that photographer that got killed and the whole 9. What's up, Joe? Joe, are you okay?
I was doing the chainsaw noises.
Oh, okay. It didn't really come through on my end. It
They
sounded like
hacked
you're.
that guy's head off.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, it was like Scarface then, basically. He was like, "Who's next?" So basically, yeah. So then he comes out in the garb, and they do the announcements, and Paul takes the microphone. "Hi, my name is Paul Heyman." Do the whole deal. Then Sammy takes the mic, and he's speaking in Arabic. Obviously, I didn't know what he said at first, and I had to go back, and somebody actually translated into what he actually said. But he literally is speaking in his native tongue. And again, he's from Quebec. Yes, he can speak, Quebecian French or Canadian French. He speak English, but the fact that he spoke in his native tongue, there was something about it that made me get goosebumps. I don't know what it was.
I thought it's something about it made me think there was a terrorist attack about to happen.
Will you
I knew that was coming as soon as Joe interjected. I knew that was coming.
I got really triggered.
On the play.
I got really triggered.
That type of stuff wasn't allowed.
Yeah, dude.
Not anymore.
You talk about microaggression. This was a major fucking terroristic aggression here in that.
No, dude, I thought it was emotional. It was emotional.
I thought the match was great. I love the match.
Why was it emotional for you? Why? Wait a minute. Why was it emotional? Because Sami Zayn talked Arabic.
As he talks like a Jewish ant.
I'm like a black Jim Cornette right now. It was, damn it. Double cheese. Double onion, mother.
This is sick.
Dude, I literally... No, I got emotional watching it, bro. Because, dude, who would ever think that this guy never been to Saudi Arabia, always wanted to go, was able to pray at the wall where he was at, goes to do a wrestling match, had fun doing it. You could definitely tell that all four of those guys loved doing what they did that night and accomplished what they were supposed to do. And then that started the Usos slowly but surely turning on Roman and Solo. And that's what led to the tag match a month later or so.
The Bloodline, by the way, I just want everybody to know that, yes, I think the Bloodline right now, current state, very, very boring. Don't like the direction they're going in because it's basically they're going nowhere right now.
It's a waiting game. That's all it is. It's just a waiting game.
Have Roman drop the belt. I don't know if they're going to do Jimmy and Solo turning on Roman before or after WrestleMania, but something needs to happen soon because
probably at Mania. Probably at least Solo at Mania, I can see.
They might do what I said they were going to do this year. They might do what I said they were going to do this year and have Solo and Jimmy basically walk out on Roman during the match or something. You know what I mean? Like because they don't want it to be like Cody gets help from them and that's the reason why he wins or whoever beats him. It's going to be Cody. Anyway, But they also don't want it to. They want to have that big moment where like the fucking Bloodline finally leaves Roman, and now he's got no one to help him, except for that fat Jew Paul Heyman. But he's not going to do shit anyway. I thought this was an incredible match, better than the fucking tag team match at WrestleMania, better than the Bloodline Civil War because again, no excessive amounts of super kicks, although Kevin Owens does a few too many. Just a very, very great fucking tag team match. And I actually thought, honestly, Roman was going to win the match. Like, I thought they were going to have them be like Roman 4 belts or whatever. But no, they had Sammy and Kevin win. They had that great moment at the end of the match where Roman's sitting on the outside and he's like holding his head in his hands and he looks up and he sees Sami Zayn with the fucking titles raised above him and Sammy's looking down on him and the music is like at the perfect crescendo of his theme song. It's just such a great moment. And that's like something that I love about wrestling.
Even greater. After the show was even greater because after the cameras went off, people were filming Roman, and then slowly Roman was just getting more and more pissed. Finally, he gets up and just berating and just going, no, and blah, blah, blah. And that was like, it was the first loss that he had in a while.
Well, I'm saying the Ghost from the Coast goes, I got flashbacks to 9/11 when he spoke in that stand language.
See, that's what I'm saying. Nobody, you pretend it didn't happen?
You prejudiced bigots, you.
Anyway, the number one match of the year for WWE for me was Cody Rhodes versus Roman Reigns. Yes, ending I was not a fan of, still not really a fan of, but
I was.
I know you were. You fucking ejaculated it to it every fucking week.
No, you
talked
did.
about how
it's
just a wrestling opinion. But this match, as a match, felt like such a fucking big deal, still feels like a big deal. That's why Cody versus Roman 2 to me still feels like the biggest match of the year, or it feels like the biggest match of WrestleMania 40, because it's just two
40.
like yeah, they're two top stars, the two top stars in the WWE that aren't, oh well, he was a guy from 10 years ago, or he was a guy who's a legend
They
or
were current
something, or
stars.
yeah, they're current stars in the main event of WrestleMania. Not a legend, not a has-been, not there for PR reasons like anytime the women were in a main event. Sorry, that's why they were there, was for PR reasons. It was a legitimate main event, and it felt like such a big deal. And we didn't know, like I thought Cody was going to win, but I really didn't know. It was such an unpredictable main event. And every spot had me on the edge of my seat. I thought the match was incredible. And it's that classic type of wrestling match that Joe talked about, that Cody Rhodes wrestles and that Roman Reigns wrestles too. Because, I think this is probably his last good title defense. Every other title defense that he's had afterwards hasn't been all that great, except for the tag team matches that he had with the Usos and with Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. This is his last great singles match that he's had. And
I am surprised. Out of all the matches you have on your list, you didn't include Rhea Ripley and Charlotte from Mania.
I would, you know what? I did forget about that match, but I don't think I would have placed it higher than. I probably would have replaced the Cody Rhodes and Jey Uso versus the Judgment Day with that, or maybe replaced it.
I would say it's definitely higher than the Usos and Kevin and Sammy, way higher than that. Mainly just because nobody expected it to be a 5-star. I'll admit it. At least from the the male 18 to 35 male demographic didn't expect it to be a 5-star. But the funny thing is, when you rewatch that match, same way I watched it when it was live, the match just got better and better and better as it went on, which was rare. And that's probably the best women's match at a WrestleMania I've ever seen.
I think I remember really loving that too. I got to go back and watch last year's WrestleMania, man.
Hey, is it true that Cody right now is the #1 merch seller?
I don't know. I know he's one of the top 4. He's definitely in the top 4. Him, LA Knight, believe the Bloodline stuff is still selling pretty good. God, who's that? Because it was LA Knight was the #1 guy for a while, but now Punk's back. I think he might be #1. I could be wrong.
E-Man goes, Luke hates women's matches confirmed.
Probably.
You know what? I've always talked up Charlotte. I think Charlotte has great matches. I was the one who was arguing with Joe at the SummerSlam during the SummerSlam review about the triple threat and how he was like crapping on it. And I'm like, well, I think you were just being negative, Luke or Joe. And he was like, well, fuck you. I wasn't being negative. We were getting this big argument about it. So I don't hate women's matches. I'm a feminist. All right, please don't cancel me.
Well, no, it's interesting though, because when you watch that match, seriously, when you watch that match, it's interesting how out of all the women's matches we've seen at a big show, whether it be SummerSlam, Royal Rumble, Survivor Series, the match that we're constantly always still talking about, even this year, Charlotte and Rhea. And I'll put that up against any women's match AEW, NJPW, or anybody else has done this year, and you're not going to outwork them, because they practically were beating the crap out of each other, taking bolder risks than they did in the previous WrestleMania match that they had during the pandemic. They went for it. And
had timing. I think they've always had great matches. They had a lot of great matches in the past, but this was definitely their best one. And it is unfortunate for them, though, that they had to compete with basically the biggest storyline of the year. There was this big debate which one's going to main event, that or the tag team match, and the tag team match rightfully main evented.
There's still people that feel that Rhea and Charlotte should have main evented night one. I still don't agree
because they don't want to get canceled. That's why.
Not necessarily just that. It was because it wasn't the biggest story. The Usos versus Sammy and Kevin was the bigger story going into that that night. All due respect to Charlotte, because again,
wrestling.
Thank you. Storylines. Get your storyline over.
That's what sells wrestling.
Kofi Mania was bigger than the women's triple threat main event. And that was only one, and that was during the time where it wasn't split into 2 shows. So
Kofi Mania should have honestly main evented, but you know what? That WrestleMania was so fucking long that if they did main event Kofi Mania at that point, it probably would have not been as loud of a, because honestly, the pop was loud, but even that happened 2 or 3 hours into the show. If that was at the opening of the night, Kofi Mania would have been an explosive reaction. But even going back at it, I think the crowd was loud, but not as loud as you were going to expect for Kofi winning the title. If you go back to it, I don't know. I just don't think it was that loud. And it's just that show was so fucking long.
I mean, I was there. I was there in person.
So boring.
I was there in person, and it was pretty damn loud. It wasn't as loud as the Hardys coming back, which I was also there for in Florida, but it was pretty loud. And yet, it should have been. It should have been better placed in the show. I'll say that.
It might have been just the way it sounded on the network
on TV,
because they do.
Yeah, right.
They sometimes mute their crowds a little bit. But then other times they'll pipe in noise, so it's very strange. Anyway, back to my closing thoughts with Cody and Roman. Despite its divisive ending, I didn't like the ending. It's still, people are talking about it are still talking about that ending, it was a mistake, or maybe this was actually the best thing to do. The people are still talking about that ending 9 months later, or however long it has been since the ending of the match. So maybe it really was the right decision because people are talking about it. Meanwhile, if Cody did win the title, maybe people really wouldn't go back and look and talk about that match as much, So I also just think it was such a great match, classic wrestling match, and probably the best WrestleMania main event we've had. I'd say since Undertaker versus Shawn. That has to that's probably the best Mania main event we've had, right? So because everything else is usually not that good or all right, or Brock Lesnar. Oh, did I get muted or some shit?
Did you say Black Lesnar?
Did I mute? Or did I get fucking glitched out or something?
No, we heard you. I heard you.
All right. Well, I just think it's very awkward when I say something and you don't say anything for 10 seconds to make me look like a jackass.
Yep.
Well, I mean, you can do. I mean, we all do that ourselves, unfortunately. But
I only think that's funny when we do it to Eric. All right.
Right. But going back to kind of the ideas of the best matches that we've seen, at least from WWE. As far as this year goes, I mean, there was a lot of great matches, even on again, we brought up stuff that was on Raw, stuff that was on SmackDown. Again, I loved when we were starting to see again the rise of LA Knight, and he was having some setting up for a pay-per-view. Chad Gable, obviously, we brought up with Gunther. I mean, again, if I were to have a lot of the matches that I would reference literally just came from PLEs this year, as far as some of the best matches. They really did they did careful building. Triple H deserves a lot of credit for carefully building the smaller shows leading up into the the smaller PLEs, but how that literally threaded right through the bigger shows, going from Royal Rumble all the way to Mania, all the way to SummerSlam. Just again, like I said, from February to July, it was probably.
Speaking of Royal Rumble, fuck, I left out the fucking best match, the fucking Mountain Dew fucking dark match.
Oh God,
I jerked off to that.
Hey, Bullfrog is a moron.
Scissor me, Joe!
Bullfrog love that match.
R.I.P. Windhelm or
Mr.
whatever his
Popo.
name was.
Mustafa, you have disappointed the general.
Oh.
I thought you were a good man, but you're just like AJ Adams. Sigh. Thou shalt not put all eggs in one basket, as egg will be smothered in vinegar.
Wow, General Santos.
What did I say though, General Santos? What did I say though?
You spoke while being black.
You lied.
I spoke by what?
You know what?
While being half black.
I think he just doesn't. 2023, Joe. It was a year of really great wrestling, but I think this year in particular, like.
Oh my God!
Yeah,
we left out. Oh my God! We left out the fucking. We left out the fucking casket match.
Which one?
Yeah, I was doing the AEW top or the WWE top 10.
Yeah, the WWE. Yes. We left out the casket match.
Remind me what it was, because I'm like blanking out.
Bray Wyatt.
Oh, he had a casket match this year?
I just talked about that. The Mountain Dew match.
Oh, yeah, but that was a Mountain Dew match. It wasn't necessarily a casket match, was it? I don't remember a casket being involved.
Well, you...
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh,
Somebody was
understanding now. Okay. You fucking... I'm like, wait a second. What is he talking about? I'm like, as Joe finally lost it, casket. Oh, because he's dead.
Oh, no.
Oh
what's
my
wrong
God.
with you guys? No, no. What? You guys are crazy. You guys.
Well,
Anyway,
I'm talking about, I mean, we lost a lot of brothers this year as far as talking about caskets.
Well,
wait a minute. Bray Wyatt's black? He's black?
R.I.P. Wind Chime.
What?
That's messed up.
That's so fucked up. I'm sorry. What was his name? Windham?
That's terrible.
Wyndham.
Windham. Because he's a big fat piece of ham in the wind.
Come on, man. What's
A few days ago, so Joe, I'm not sure if you know this, but a few days ago,
I'm sorry.
Mike Rotunda was on a podcast basically saying that WWE's made Bray Wyatt's contract a Legends contract, so which means JoJo and his kids are going to be getting, pretty much money for life based on his royalties and any merchandise that people buy.
Right. Anyway.
Okay, I guess nobody cares. Wow.
2023. Yeah, how does it feel? 2023 was a year of
How
great
does it
wrestling.
feel?
But we also learned something else in 2023. We learned a lot actually, about the person we know as, formerly as Rostafa.
Formerly?
We learned a lot about him.
Wait. What's my name, Luke?
Righteousness. Self-righteousness.
Say my name.
Well, I don't know your name. 'cause you won't
Roast
tell us.
taker.
Say my name.
You're the roast
You won't
taker.
tell us. We learned a lot
The
about
roast
stuff.
taker.
Going back early in the year when we found out Rostafa wouldn't tell us anything about his life at all, basically.
I can tell you about his
he
life.
wouldn't,
It's a lot of crime. A lot of crime.
A lot of crime, but no,
I'm
we
literally the
can't
Batman.
find
I literally
out.
keep
We
all the
can't
lights in
find
the
out.
House of Dark.
We
What?
can't find out if he has sex with women or men because that is just like not our business. I don't know why.
Well, I said my
Anyway.
relationships are none of anybody's business, but I am straight. If that helps you.
Okay, yeah,
Wow.
yeah. It took you fucking months to admit that. Anyway,
No, because you never asked that specific question. You never asked that specific question. I don't talk about my relationships. I don't
Okay,
talk
fine,
about
whatever.
relationships.
Going further into the year, we move on to when you started talking about that's just the wrestling business. What a douchey
is.
line. Yeah,
It
what a
is.
douchey line that was spun off by you.
Because you asked the question and I said it's the wrestling business. That's what they do.
This
Oh my God.
This
His mic is fucked.
your mic is terrible. Anyway, this fervor basically added to the kind of pretentiousness that people like perceive of you. Then you did the whole threatening to dock someone's IP.
But nothing tops the fact. Nothing is going to top the fact that you swallowed soap.
So basically, a few people said that you ripped off a wrestling opinion from Busted Open or whatever, and then Joe sold you down the river and was like, "Yeah, he is a mark for them. What a loser!"
Yeah, but the funny thing is, but if you remember, if you remember, Luke, I actually came on here and actually verified that no, it wasn't that I copped out and I copied somebody's lingo.
What you did
And I
afterwards
called everybody
was completely
out. I called everybody out and I said, "Get at me," and nobody did.
IPs. You threatened to dox their IPs.
No, I threatened that if somebody wanted, if somebody really wanted to play hardball, it's like, bro, I will. If I want to track somebody down, I'm obviously not going to give out their address because that's what the argument was. That I was going to share people's address. I don't do that. If I want to find you, I will.
Anyway, moving on to the double or nothing.
No, Luke. No, Luke. You brought it up. You brought it up.
You didn't rip off the No, I agree with you. You didn't rip off that opinion, but you threatening to dox their IPs was weird. Anyway, moving on to the double or nothing review this year, you would then have
AEW.
You would then have the infamous glitch, quote unquote.
I thought you hated AEW.
Well, I watched the review because that's where you glitched with quotation marks.
So wait, so you watch AEW reviews?
It wasn't a glitch. It was a stutter. Don't fucking try to fucking gaslight me, all right? And try to change the subject, bro. Don't deflect. Anyway, it was a stutter. And then there were several other occasions where you stuttered and lied about it. This then led to me and
I don't lie, sir. I'm a born again Christian. I love my Lord. I don't lie.
Yeah, Christians lie all the time. Anyway.
Just like George Washington, I could not tell a lie.
That's not who said that.
George Washington actually did say I could not tell a lie.
I thought that was I think that was Abe Lincoln.
No, Abe Lincoln said I'm honest almost to a fault, you dunce.
Oh, okay. Well, George Washington did tell a lie because he's like, oh yeah, for the people or whatever the fuck, but then he still had slaves. Anyway, or at least we can't vote away for slaves or whatever. The whole Constitution is a lie when you think about it. I'm joking. I don't really give a shit. Anyway, what was I going to say? Oh, okay. Then this finally led to me and Joe making an hour and a half fucking roast of you, where we then discovered that you made a very politically driven video.
What was political about it? What was political about it? I'm actually curious.
YouTube Kids. You were marching in the street, protesting about a man who was murdered by the cops, and this was on YouTube Kids.
And what was political about that? That an innocent man died for no freaking reason.
Okay, maybe political, whatever.
He was on fentanyl, and that probably did kill him.
Very, very, very inappropriate video, and also the video was
just inappropriate. Luke, you're not. How is it inappropriate? How is it
inappropriate for YouTube Kids? But not only that, but the video is also just a big plug for your own shit. Like, oh yeah, I'm also a writer, and I can dance, I can sing. I'm a fucking great guy.
Yeah, and you. Wait, Luke.
So why would you put that on YouTube
I'm able to
Kids?
write songs. Why would? Okay, first of all, I put the video up on YouTube. I can care less how the settings are. I just post it. Okay, I don't care. Okay, I posted a video. Who cares?
Coast to the coast. Yeah, we should do a top 5 roast off of clinically insane moments.
I should do a top 5 Luke Rojas moments. I will say number 1, without question, you swallowing an entire bottle of soap. That is interesting to me, actually.
I think this past weekend, you didn't watch this past weekend, but I think I said the other F word about 3,000 times. And
no, probably about 3,500 times. 3,500 times,
the rant that I go off on Dork Night is unlike anything I've ever done. By the way, Dork Night and you were very much tied for a person who irritated me the most on the show this year.
No, it was Dork Night. It was Dork Night. Because the thing is, at least other than me, at least I try to stay on topic. Dork Night always tries to change the topic to the point where basically he's like, hey, do you want to come on my show? And I'm like, dude, you just said that you weren't going to promote your show or do this or that, but yet here you are doing it. So he contradicted the fact that he was promoting his show.
Instead of promoting his show there, he should do it like you do and promote your show to children. Anyway, even though it's not for children.
Wait, Luke, no, Luke, pause for the pause. No, Luke, calm it down. Now it's time for my time to rebut. First of all,
Okay.
if I were to put a song out, regardless if it's for adults, regardless if it's for kids, why should you even think that that's like a bad thing? Because again, if I'm here to write something, no. I am talking about a subject matter that's serious.
Brainwashing.
So regardless of who gets it, it's an educational format. That's what YouTube was built on to communicate. No, not brainwashing.
Children.
It's called educating yourself.
You brainwash children. You rape children.
Dude, you sound weird as hell saying that, by the way, dude. I don't know. Do you touch children? That sounds a little bit weird to me, dude.
I said you brainwash them.
No, I don't brainwash anybody, dude. I tell the truth. Moving on. So you want to talk about GTA 6?
Spoken like a true brainwasher.
Honestly, yeah, this does sound like someone like who is the leader of the cult would say, or like someone who's the lawyer. Anyway, GTA 6, like the guy who thinks he's got it all together, like this guy who seems like he's got it all together, but he actually is just as insane as the rest of his cult friends. Anyway, in GTA 6, the video that Joe made about it, we then had you lie about knowing what we were talking about.
It wasn't that I lied. I basically said that the guy who was making the argument that was disgusting.
We talked about this twice, and you had no rebuttal. We talked about
I was in agreement. I was in agreement with what the situation was that it was discussing because I clearly stated it.
Joe.
What?
Luke,
seriously? Like, do we gotta pull the clip? Do we gotta pull the clip up for him again?
Luke, let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question. Do you love poking the bear?
Oh.
What are you gonna do?
Apparently you do, and apparently you like to watch it crap in the woods too.
Oh man, remember that time I crapped in the woods? That was crazy at the fucking flea market.
Yeah.
I crapped in the woods. It was crazy.
I know.
Okay, E-Man, just so you know, I love Rostafa. Like, I don't.
Look at this.
Honestly,
Sure,
Rostafa,
sure.
I just love to poke his buttons because it's hilarious.
Wait, what did you say? You want to poke my butt? What's wrong with you, sir?
Guys, they found a new species. You seeing this thing?
What is it?
It's like I don't know, man. It's like a bat dinosaur.
It's a Jersey Devil.
That's what it looks like, kind of. But no, it's like a bat, kind of.
Is that the one where your cat choke slammed?
This is
earlier this year.
It's a brand new species. They just found this thing.
You know, he's not brand new because he's probably been around forever.
Probably been around longer than we know, but yeah.
They're like, well, brand new species, like it was just made yesterday.
Yeah, you're right. We just haven't discovered.
Diablo here.
That's so weird.
Well,
though.
Anyway, I just wanted to answer what E-Man was saying. Anyway, I love fucking Rostafa. I think he's hilarious, but Mr. Pico is just like an annoying fuck to me, but whatever.
You just found that out?
I think he's funny. Sometimes he's funny to me. Sometimes I just think it's like, dude, you really are like nothing. You're just a nothing lump of shit. And then I think Dork Knight, honestly, you know,
ears.
I feel bad when I said the Dork Knight, but I do hate him. Like, I'm being honest. I hate him.
No. Tell me how you really feel.
Dork Knight, I regret what I said about your family, but you on this show, me and you, I hate you.
Wow.
Because literally, since the moment I joined a stream with him, I knew, oh my God.
So you don't loathe him, you don't pity him, you hate him.
This guy should not be on a show. It is like annoyingly stupid sometimes. Just annoyingly, like, not stupid, but he's like just so incompetent at times. It's like, dude, how the fuck are you still talking about a story about you going to Arby's one time and not talking about the thing that we're reviewing? When I've literally told you 6 times, hey, can we stop changing the subject? And then literally, as I tell you this, you go into another story about your medical problems. Like, I think he's very selfish. I think he plugs his own shit all the time. And I also think that he just uses
Wait, more than Dork Knight? More than Dork Knight?
No, I'm talking about Dork Knight, not Pico.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Dork Knight, though, yeah, I think Dork Knight just uses Joe to get his show's name out there, but nobody watches it because nobody watches that pile of crap.
Give me the views. He's like Sammy Guevara. Give me the views. Because
everybody else in the chat agreed. Yeah, we don't like this guy. He's stupid. And you know, and
It
then
is
ever
funny,
since
though.
then, he's just proven to me how much of an asshole he is, just a fucking dumbass. Like, and he cheats at the fucking Dragon Ball trivia. Like that really got on my fucking skin that this guy lied about being a big
Well,
fan
he's
about it, and
also
then he doesn't
like,
know shit.
I can fuck every girl and give her every orgasm. I can tell you how to make her horny. And literally, like, my wife almost didn't bang me because of what he said. Like, I don't know. But
Because it's not a true. He didn't. He said he had 100 women within the past 3 years, but then he said he weighed 400 pounds. You really think a guy who weighs 400 pounds and looks like Dork Knight? You know, he's not the most impressive looking guy. Imagine what he looked like when he weighed 400 pounds.
I
No
think he's-
fucking woman is fucking him. No woman's fucking him unless he's fucking another whale. All right, and that doesn't really count. All
a
right.
lot of narcissistic behavior out of him.
Yeah, and then he's saying like, "Oh, if I can, don't you love the feeling of creaminess?" Because he wanted to impress Leah, because he got like, "Oh my God, a woman's on the show. I have to show off how awesome I am." And then he fucking just ended up creeping her out because one, Leah knew it was a lie, and then two, it's just like, what are you talking about? Why are you calling your kids fuck trophies? You fucking weirdo. I just think he's a douche.
Wow.
I don't like him. I haven't liked him the moment that Joe put him on the stream. I was just annoyed with him. I'm every time I'm gonna be on the stream with him, I'm gonna think he's this douche.
Well,
but also he's hilarious to make fun of.
I agree. I think he brings a juice to the show. I like Dork Knight, even for all his faults. I love him, and I love you guys. And I'm getting out of here. Good night.
All right, get out.
Damn it.
All right, keep it hard.
Get out of here.
Get out of here. Good Lord, those guys. Thanks for being here tonight for a little bit of Tuesday night. Didn't know how long we would go tonight or what would happen even after everything I've been doing here, cleaning up this shit. But I'm gonna call it a wrap up. Hit that like button if you like on the way out. What a nightmare of a week. Thanks for subbing, and become a patron if you want to support the show a lot, and become a producer on patreon.com/Joe Cronin Show. 25 producer spots. Fill them up if you can. It's almost Christmas, by the way. 5 days away. Wow. Where's the time gone? This is the weirdest Christmas ever. Definitely one of the weirdest, worst Christmas times of all time. Amazing. Good night.
Despite all my rage, I am still just a rat in a cage. Despite all my rage, I am still just a rat in a cage. And someone will say what is lost can never be saved. Despite all my rage, I am still just a rat in a cage. Despite all my rage, I'm still just a rat in a